Okay, I know I have my server running because I've tested in the browser with localhost.
This video is brought to you by phpMyAdmin Academy.
Now that I've got my server running, we're ready to take the steps necessary to create the database for our runner's log program. From the localhost homepage using WAMP server, I can go ahead and go into phpMyAdmin simply by clicking on it, and that's going to load the phpMyAdmin program, which is going to allow us to administrate our database. So let me enter my username and password. And of course, this is the default installation. And here we have my blank phpMyAdmin. No database is listed here. So first thing we're going to want to do is create a new database. So I'll go here to Databases, and we'll create a database called Runner Log. And we don't need to specifically choose a correlation, so I'll click Create. And here we are now ready to create our first table. Now this is going to be a very simple table that's going to have runs. So each run the user will log, and we'll keep them in a table called runs. All right, so looks like we've got the name of the table. We'll start with 4 columns. We can always edit that later. And now we're going to put our actual column name. So the first is going to be the run ID. That's going to be an integer, 11. It cannot be null. It's going to be the primary key. And we're going to auto increment. We're then going to have the run date. And of course, for the type, I'm going to choose a date. We're going to have the run distance. Now, people generally measure the distance not as an integer, but as a number with a decimal point. So we want to use the correct type here. Integer would not work. Let's use a floating point number. Perfect. And then let's have a run comment. That'll be a varchar, and will allow up to 255 characters. So it looks like we've made our first table. Let's go ahead and save. So let's go ahead and take off the null there. And now we can go ahead and actually take a look at our table. So our runs table is stored inside the runner log database. And we've got our run ID, which is the primary key. We've got our run date, distance, and our comment. So this looks good. Let's go ahead and test this by inserting in here some data. So first, the run ID. I'm going to leave that blank. And let's choose a date. I'll choose Sunday. And let's choose a distance of 2.3. And comment ran around reservoir. We even spell reservoir correctly. And I'm going to click Go, and we have the insert. And you can see the actual insert that was created. Now, if we were to take a look at the runs table, it shows here select star from runs, and then we have our single line. The run ID is 1. The run date is 11/6/2016. The distance, 2.3. And my comment ran around reservoir. Let's go ahead and insert one more run in here. So we'll leave the run ID alone because that's auto number. Let's select the date Monday. And let's say the distance was 3.35. Run comment ran to beach and back home. Go ahead and insert it. You can see the insert statement that's created. It was successfully inserted into row 2. If we take a look at the table, there we go. So now we've created our database successfully, and we've inserted a couple of data points in the database itself.